If you've been playing along at home, you know that we've been going through a series. We did all the protagonists and the antagonists. Now I want to do the antagonist of the DLC, and now we're back at Fallout 3 for Ishmael Ashur. What do you remember about Ashur from the last episode, Olive?
That he was in the Brotherhood of Steel, and he got abandoned at the pit by them. And then he started to form his own slaver ring to operate the mills. And you can use all of the iron bars to get really cool power armor. And I would eat the baby.
Alrighty, I'm just going to jump into this because we're just all over the fucking place. Ishmael Ashur. Former Institute of the Brotherhood of Steel single-handedly revived a city after almost absolute destruction by the Brotherhood. Most likely born on the West Coast, in 2254, the Brotherhood's ruling council sent a team east. From the West Coast, to DC being the former nation's capital, in search for all advanced technology. The second team was to investigate the super mutants in DC, and the third team was to reestablish contact with the Midwest Brotherhood and return them to Lost Hills. You want to hear a really fun fact?
I would love to hear a fun fact.
The Midwest Brotherhood in Van Buren is stationed in the same part of Colorado as I am.
No shit, really?
Yeah. And I didn't know that before getting here. Chris and I were talking about lore and whatnot. And we were looking up like, oh, what's in Colorado? Because we knew that it was Denver was Kaiser. We didn't know if it was all of Colorado, and we were looking it up. And yeah, in Van Buren, it was supposed to be like the same area.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Ashur was part of Owen Lyon's party, including Rothschild, Henry...
They went and got dinner together all the time.
Is Henry Castellan and Paladin
Caston.
Caston?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. The next part, speaking of lore, follow us on Twitch.
Yeah,
I forgot to bring that up before, because we've recorded this episode twice now. Haha. Let me see, where is it? So I want to.
What does that have to do with Twitch?
Because I don't know. I just wanted to make fun of you for fucking up. Unable. This is the scourge. This is the scourge of when the Brotherhood left the West Coast and went through Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Unable to contact the Midwestern Brotherhood, the Brotherhood passes on eastwards towards Washington, D.C. During their travels, the Brotherhood came across the disturbingly vile ruins of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, known as the Pit. The city was lawless. Rape gangs, raiders, slavers, and many other kinds of horrors all freely wandered, and anarchy ruled the streets. The few innocent inhabitants had to scratch out a living in this terrorized environment, most of who were either sick or dying from combined effects of the intense radiation and pollution from pre-war industrial factories damaged by the bombs spewing into the atmosphere. Horrified by what they saw, the Brotherhood then led the Scourge, a large-scale military action throughout the Pit, combing the ruins and killing anyone who dared to put up a fight. Due to their sheer superior technological and combat abilities, the Brotherhood sustained virtually no losses but wiped out most of the Pit's population. By the time the Scourge was over, only a handful of raider gangs still existed in the city. Although the intent of the Scourge remains unclear, the Brotherhood took many non-mutated children, such as Paladin Kodak, from the Pit and placed them into initiate training. I get all of my lore off of fallout.fandom.com. During the Scourge, Initiate Ashur was caught in an explosion in a steel mill and was presumed to be the only casualty, so the Brotherhood left him within the mill and moved forward towards Washington, D.C. Ashur laid there for 4 hours, but was soon awoken when he was pulled out of the rubble by scavers trying to loot his power armor. Ashur, impressed by them, with some of the scavers even considering him to be a god. With locals not having to worry about the rampant raider gangs which once infested the streets, he brought many of the scavers into the area together under his leadership. Now,
Cool.
sounds like a great way to start the party, right?
Absolutely.
Shit gets fucked.
Rape gangs.
Well, not that.
Conscripting children. Scavers and power armor.
Instead of trying to return to the Brotherhood, Ashur founded the new city of the Pit, because he was touched by the tenacious locals who had endured great hardship before, during, and after the Scourge. Another reason being the fact that it contained the only operational steel mill the Brotherhood had ever run into, allowing the Pit to produce its own equipment. To gain control, Ashur formed his own gang and used his Brotherhood training and expertise. He quickly began killing the leaders of the remaining raider gangs to establish dominance. The raiders who did not rebel were incorporated into the gang and numbers swelled. His control over the Pit grew to the point where his territory extended to most of the ruins. Ashur transformed his raider gang into a functional government under his autocratic rule, rebranding his gang into an army, with the most fierce raiders becoming his lieutenants. With the Pit firmly under his control, Ashur and his guards occupied a mostly intact skyscraper called Haven as his place to watch over the city. However, it wasn't long before he realized that raider gangs would not be enough to allow his new civilization to grow. In order to achieve this, Ashur soon started to use slaves, or how he insists on calling them workers, to remind them that they have a chance at freedom no matter how slim. As labor,
Just like America.
yes. He uses them as labor, and he hates to do this, but claims it has to be done since most of the citizens of the Pit are unable to have children due to the troglodyte degeneration contagion.
I'm going to take a few minutes to explain what the troglodyte degeneration contagion is, because damn if that isn't the,
Can I finish this
string of
paragraph?
words that I've ever heard. Well, maybe would me reading it now better inform the rest of the paragraph?
Do it.
I will. So, the troglodyte degeneration contagion, or TDC, is a transformative and degenerative disease that plagues all of the inhabitants of the Pit. According to Dr. Sandra Kundanika, TDC is the result of intensely concentrated ambient radiation exposure combined with the unique industrial toxins and pollutions of the region that surround what was once Pittsburgh, and cannot be contracted by contact with the infected. The effects of the disease are intensified by the fact that half of the inhabitants of the Pit have resorted to cannibalism. Do I know about the symptoms?
I want to talk about... Yeah, go ahead.
According to Dr. Kundanika, all people who live with TDC in TDC active areas experience skin lesions after a few weeks of exposure. They are reversible and may clear after a month or more away from the area. For many sufferers, this is the full extent of the effect. For a certain percentage of people exposed to the toxins in the Pit region, TDC also alters brain chemistry and thereby produces psychological effects, turning the affected into wildmen. Approximately 20% of adults exposed to TDC lose their reasoning and motor skills over the course of several years, degenerating into feral mutants called trogs. Nobody has ever recovered from full degeneration, although there are rumors that trogs retain some memories and recognize the faces of loved ones. While adults have a slight chance of experiencing full degeneration, children born in TDC-infested areas have nearly 100% degeneration rates, turning feral within weeks after birth, with one sole exception.
We'll get to that in just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
So the discovery of the cure. which is directly from that. The pit was approached by a scientist named Sandra Kundanika after hearing about its status as an up-and-coming civilization in the wastes. Instead of being enslaved or attacked by raiders guarding the city's perimeter, Sandra was welcomed into the pit's raider class due to her talents, which greatly impressed Ashur, eventually marrying her. A year before 2277, why couldn't you just put in 2276? Sandra had become pregnant and gave birth to Ashur's child, a daughter named Marie. In a miraculous stroke of luck, Marie was discovered to possess a special ability that the rest of the wasteland lacked. She was immune to this mutation. This immunity meant that Marie would not be affected by the troglodyte degeneration contagion, which had been massively blighting the pit. Ashur and Sandra quickly set to work on developing a cure for their fellow pit inhabitants. It is hinted that if the cure were to be successfully produced, allowing natural population growth, Ashur would greatly reorganize the pit by abolishing slavery and granting all of its citizens their freedom.
That sounds like a likely story.
Yeah. That sounds like some shit that he would say. So, I'm trying to remember if we said anything. You want to bring up the baby eating thing, so it's not like we sit around talking about eating babies? You never played Red Dead, right? The first one?
Mm-mm.
Yes, no?
No, I did not.
There is I think it's the DLC for it. I'm pretty sure it's the DLC for it, where you go and you find Sasquatch.
Yeah.
And, you have to hunt him down, and John Marston, pulls up on a horse on Sasquatch, and he's like, please don't hurt me. I'm so tired. He goes, no, you eat babies. And he's got, a gun pointed at him. He's like, please, friend, years of isolation is killing me. I want to know what it is to be cultured. And he, says, all this sophisticated shit. And John Marston just, kind of goes, pauses and, points a gun at him. He's like, you eat babies. It's the only thing he could say. Yeah.
Well, there was a mod at one point for the pit that gave you the option at the end that instead of producing the cure, you have the opportunity to steal the baby and eat the baby to gain immunity to radiation for the rest of your save.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that was the thing. I just remember it being eat the baby.
So, from a completely game design scenario and being a min-maxer, I would eat the baby.
Really? You min-max in games?
Oh, I do.
Doesn't that take
Have
away
you ever
the
seen
fun?
me play Stardew? It's honestly scary.
I want to play Stardew with you, but I'm afraid you're going to take the fun out of it, because I'm just going to be
I most definitely will take the fun out of it.
Here are my pumpkins, haha, and you're just going to be that's not efficient.
You got to play with Aislinn. Aislinn plays for fun. I play for
I messaged her
keeps.
to play, but she never got back to me.
She's been busy with school.
Well, then tell her I said drop out.
I will.
Yeah, I don't really remember. I remember playing this. I remember doing those the fucking ingots.
Iron bars. The iron bars.
The fucking iron ingots. To the point where I think I have it memorized that if, you put me in there, I could find at least 80 of them on my own.
Yeah, I could probably get, 70 or so before I have to start looking them up.
I don't even know why I did it. It was to a point where every time I would replay the pit, I would just go and get them.
Honey, it's time to look for all your iron bars. Yes, dear.
Yeah, I would find every fucking time. I wanted the power armor. I had the power armor, and the slave hood. And it just looked super dope. And then I would walk around with Fox and dog meat. And Fox would have his big Gatling laser, and I would have the perforator, the assault rifle with the silencer and the scope, and just fucking. I miss Fallout 3.
I know you do. Why don't you just replay it?
Because we've talked about this. I want to stream it. I really want to stream it. I really do. I really want to do it. I want to do it. Yes. So there's just something here that I want to go over quick, because there's not really any super fun facts to get into. Other than Ashur does not hold any animosity towards the Brotherhood. He just doesn't believe in what they believe in. He gives a speech when you first get there, and he talks, and he has something here. It says, "Our industry is the envy of the Commonwealth, Our safety is the envy of the capital waste, and our might is the envy of Ronto. What the fuck is going on in Canada?
Yeah, what is going on in Canada?
What's
and also, you very, very much want more. You want to know about Ronto. I know you do.
I do for a couple of reasons. One being, I don't know when the first time... Actually, let me look it up since I'm on the wiki. I don't know the first time Ronto is mentioned, but it's also a fucking Star Wars reference.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I remember being told it is.
Well, everything you're told is the truth, so...
Valid. So the only thing here is Ronto is a region mentioned by Ashur, and is the slave Brand? What do you fuck? Oh, the slave whose name is Brand. Okay.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
I was like, what do you fucking in a speech? That's all it says. That's it. The location of Ronto. I feel like somebody has come out and said Ronto is Toronto.
Of course, yeah.
But I feel like there's more of this that's like missing from the wiki. Wait, you're new here, aren't you? Are you here from the Erie Stretch, Capital Wasteland, Ronto? Where's home? So that's what Brand the Slave says.
So it has to be Toronto.
I want to know I've been having these conversations with my roommate Chris constantly about what's going on where and who's where. I said about streaming before. We have written down here somewhere of like what our character in New Vegas's backstory is, and he's like he's like one of 3, and his dad was like part of the NCR for as long as he can remember, and like their mom is... We made up a tribe in Mexico that she's from.
Really?
Yeah, and that like missions from the Great Salt Lake came to this part of Mexico and had such a huge impact on the mom that the mom left and was looking to find the Mormons, the New Canaanites, and like got fucked up. Not fucked up like on drugs or anything. She got fucked up with her directions and saw like, oh, I'm in the boneyard, and met the followers and was just like, well, I guess
like
this is
crazy.
them.
Yeah.
And just joined the followers. Yeah, she's from the Tortuga tribe. And they got that name because they use turtle shells for hammers and weapons and shit. We put a lot of thought into it. And I want to know what else is going on in this world. And last episode that we recorded and you lost your stuff from, we talked about like the show and what we think the best place to do the show would be. And I just want to know more about the world. Honestly.
You always want more Fallout.
Well, yeah, of course, you fucking fuck. That's about everything I have to say on the lore, on Ishmael Ashur. Do you have anything you'd like to say, my friend?
Yeah, I don't really have anything else. I don't really have anything else for Ashur.
Okay, then I guess we're done with lore.
No, I mean, I like the pit. Yeah, we can be done with lore.
No, say what you want to say.
Like, I really like the pit a lot. I would like to redo it. I know that one time I actually got through the river. Like, I swam through the river instead of going over the bridge.
Yeah, I didn't know you could do that.
And, yeah, you just need, like, a shit ton of chems. And, I think a radiation suit helps.
Probably.
Yeah. You should try it. It's very difficult.
I will. I absolutely will.
Good. You better.